Hello and welcome to Ogre. This is a review for Cowboy Bebop, the live action show that is currently on Netflix. This show is an adaptation, a liberal adaptation, I suppose, in some ways, of the Cowboy Bebop anime that was back in before 2000. And so we're going to go through, we're going to look at some of the strongest parts of this live action show. As we always do a review, we'll take a look at what I think was good, and then we'll get to some of the weaker parts as we go through. And ultimately, you can make up your own mind about what you want to see or not, but I will take a look at this, give it a little review, and let's move on. All right, so the strongest part of this show, the set design and world building, they did a excellent job just making it feel like you were in that universe that Cowboy Bebop, the anime, created, and the world felt very real. The sets were very good. I was very pleased with how they accomplished all that. It looks great, great use of CGI, great use of sets, and I think that's one of the strongest parts of the show, which may lead you to think that there are some not so glowing parts that are very important. And yeah, you'd be right in that when you're talking about set design being the strongest part of the show. Music. It has a pretty good soundtrack. I wouldn't say it's got as good as the original anime, but you're not going to be disappointed by the soundtrack. I think they do a great job with that. It mirrors the show very well, and I think the music is very solid in it. Maybe not great, but at least good. The characters, for the most part, do a decent job. There are a couple that I think are a little lackluster, either because of the writing or because of the actors. But I think for the most part, the actors fit their roles very well. If there was a difficulty, it was probably because of some of the other things we're going to get to. But the characters themselves, I think, fit for live action. I think it was a great choice to attempt to do Cowboy Bebop from an anime, because a lot of anime is just not going to translate very well. And this one has a lot of possibilities. So the actors did a really good job here. And it starts to fall apart a little bit with the story. There are some really good stories, particularly in the first half. The first 5, 6 episodes, I was really getting into it. I was really enjoying it. Wasn't perfect, but I thought some of the writing was good. And this is the part of the show that probably draws the heaviest from the original work, before they start making changes. And the second half of the show, where you start to see a lot of the changes that they've made and the decisions and some of the characters, where some characters didn't really exist in the anime before. Not that that's a problem, but there was a lot of, I think, trying to deal with two masters in this. There was the original anime, which they wanted to honor, obviously, and then what they thought the story should be. And in my opinion, you just can't have those two masters. It would have been much better, I think, if this was a solo property, something original without the Cowboy Bebop name. And they could have done what they wanted instead of changing Cowboy Bebop into something ultimately that it may not be. So every episode, all the 10 episodes in this, after about the second half, I felt like I was, just getting a little more disappointed every time I watched one, which was sad to say. And I don't think the story ended on a very strong note either. But you may enjoy it. Story is always most important to me. But if you really want to see where this goes, if you're okay for a Cowboy Bebop adaptation, and you like anime live action adaptations anyway, then this might be something for you. Um, Final thoughts on it. If you if you really like the anime and want to see where they take this, you might want to watch this. However, if you're looking for something that had the same charm, you're only going to find it as in bits and pieces as the original. A little bit here, a little bit there, but ultimately it's not the same thing as Cowboy Bebop. It is something different. It almost feels like this is really the first act before the group gets their stuff together and actually starts functioning really by the end of the 10 episodes. And if that's the case, maybe it will redeem itself in a season 2. But for season 1, I felt a little disappointed by the end of it. Take that review for what you wish. I probably will not watch it again, which is strange to say because up until about midway through, I was thinking I'd probably prefer to watch this than the regular anime if I was to rewatch it. But after seeing the last few episodes, yeah, I changed my mind on that. Anyway, this has been an Ogre review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this helped you make your decision about whether you wanted to watch Cowboy Bebop on Netflix. If you do, I hope you enjoy it.